all of the dads, all of the fathers that celebrated this past Sunday, and shout out to all of the moms too that also have to, fill that role of the dads. But today, today's topic is about something that I really feel like we should pay attention to. And thanks to my guest today, he has brought light, enlightened on me. And so I'm bringing some light to you. Uh, Men cry in silence too. The real truth from a male survivor. I'm Chosen Jones, the host from Jamaica, Queens, New York, and I have my guest today. His name is Deven Tucker, Detroit's own. Peace, y'all. What's up? What's up, Devon? Thank you for joining.
Oh man, thank you for having me.
Yes, y'all. Like I was saying, today is different. I'm having the honor of sitting with somebody and interviewing with someone that has not only survived one of the darkest roads a person could walk, but is now standing in the light. So, again, I'm going to introduce my host, well, my guest. I'm sorry, male survivor of human trafficking, a father, and a voice for the voiceless. As someone that walked through trauma myself, I am a victim of, a survivor. Let's say that, right? Right, Devon? We're no longer victims. We are survivors. I am
Mhm.
a survivor of extreme domestic violence. And that's what prompted me to launch my nonprofit organization where we advocate for women that are victims and survivors of domestic violence and human trafficking. But as you can see, my name is Fire Ladies Inc. So a lot of my attention have been on female victims of domestic violence and human trafficking. But when I met Devon, I was like, wait, men are are affected by this too. So let's just get right into it. All right. Take us back, Devon. When did the for nobody that's never heard your story before, I've seen your interviews that you've shared with other radio stations and TV networks. But take us back just briefly on where did it start? How did it start?
Um, selling books and magazines, and then I was forced to, have sex with other people as well.
So
You, you know, I was sex trafficked, lived from hotel to hotel, city to city, and state to state. There were 16 of us in a white passenger van just traveling. You know, um, but we were promised some things until it was too late, and kind of got held at gunpoint and told we weren't going anywhere. Um, it's just one of those things that's unexpected. You know, but if I had to, you know, you want to be a hero. You want to be a hero. You want to stop human trafficking. You want to stop trauma. You want to stop all these things that are happening back and forth in our community to our young boys. Stop out going back and forth, and because a lot of victims volunteer and don't even know it. It's not always forced by kidnap.
right.
It's not
That's what
always
happened with
forced rape. It's not always forced.
that's what happened with you when you thought that you pretty much you started sold drugs, you were making some money, and then you had got arrested, right? And you made
Hmm.
when you made a promise that was in the sale, you is that's when you found and made a connection with the Most High, right? And then that's when you told Jehovah, you said, listen, if you get me out of this, I'm never going to sell drugs again. right? And so that's important for
Yeah.
young men to understand, like, okay, well, God delivered you from one situation, so you're thinking, all right, I'm just going to be on up and up, and I'm going to do this thing right. And like you were mentioning, you were saying how they could just not even know, get into it and not even know. And that's what happened to you. You thought you was just get go straighten up and just getting a job. Break, breaking up a little bit.
There was where we were taught, hey, you're going to, well, not taught, but we were told, hey, you're going to make a lot of money. You're going to do this. You're going to try
Mm, living in poverty. You're breaking up a little bit too, Devon. You're breaking up just a bit. I just want to let you know because this is very important because a lot of boys will get into this and are getting into this and they just don't know what's going on. We too busy like fire. We too busy looking at the women. We ain't paying no attention to the men. So, um, you said,
yeah,
go ahead. You said
yeah.
90% get into it for poverty, and it started at home, where
Yeah, it started at home. They're so because they're watching the people who are living in poor conditions. They're studying you. What they know how to respond. They know what to act, because they're paying attention to you, and you could easily fall into that trap when you are weak minded. Not to say that you're a weak person. That just because you're weak minded doesn't mean you're a weak person. Weak minded is just um you're in a condition where you're in survival mode, so anything will help. You're like, oh, you told me that. So what most people will have to realize is me as a male being sex trafficked, me as a male being labor trafficked during the day and sex trafficked at night. Before I got to that point, I went from jail. Before jail, I was living in abandoned buildings. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
the struggle was real. I was on. When I got out of jail, it was desperateness. Like I'm trying to find
Try-
my way out of life. So yeah. So when you tell somebody in Detroit, Michigan, hey, that's young, I can help you, and you can get this, and you can get that. In my head, I'm thinking I get to lead the city. I didn't
right.
hear nothing else, but I get to lead the city.
I
You know what
did
I'm saying? I've
too.
been in my city. Yeah. So that's what, made me sign up for it.
So,
Then 3 days later, I got a gun held to me talking about, way out.
so did you
This is
you
what you doing for real.
side? Did you ever really scream and like hoping someone would see you, but nobody did? That's why I always thought before I really.
You try screaming to with a gun to your head. You ain't. You're not about to be making noise because that's your life on the line. But when you constantly being monitored, when you constantly being watched, when you outnumbered, you know what I'm saying? Every move you make, they survive when all hope is lost. Because you done took all my resources away. I don't have nothing to identify myself. I don't have no cell phone. I can't reach out to family or friends. What do you do?
But you said you did something very, very divine. You said you did, was it 3 days of praying? You said you did? Hello? Breaking up a little bit. You said in one of your interviews, you said you did 3 days of praying. Hmm. I know our speed is a little choppy, but yeah. So you said you did 3 days of praying, and then you're breaking up just a bit. But what'd you say?
freedom at 23 years old. 2011, February 6th. That was Super Bowl Sunday in Orlando, Florida. International Drive. That was right by McDonald's on International Drive.
And that what was going on? Was you not was you delivering papers? Was this
No,
a
so
client?
so during the
What
so during the day I was selling books and magazines, and at night I was being sex trafficked.
Right. So then now how'd you get with the Florida abolitionists? How did you get with the ones that
Florida abolitionists, they were watching us for a year. And they were making sure to track where we were, and
Mm,
to do a safe sting at the hotel.
wow. Okay, so thank God for people that watching and like with Fire Lady, my nonprofit, we're out there. We want to bring awareness to people. That's why we're doing this here. This ain't about clout chasing. Like this is real, something that we're like it's going on right underneath our eyes. But you're saying a gun to your head. It's we always almost how in the world is going on right next to us, but your neighbor don't even know.
Well, for one, there's a thing about men being tough and not being able to, speak up or talk about their trauma or their issues. This is why men's mental health is so important, because men make up over 50% in the human trafficking sex ring. They make not no not 50%, but they make up 42%
Okay.
in the human trafficking sex ring. That's $60 billion out of $150 billion industry. I don't think too many people understand the significance. So when a male is conditioned and told that he can't speak, hold it in,
Mm-hmm.
don't cry, don't talk about how you feel or what's going on, anger issue, have a turn.
You break it a
Yourself.
bit.
You won't hold a job.
I don't know if you hear it,
You won't be
but
you won't be able to hold a job when you are holding all these things in and not taught to properly express yourself on a mental scale the right way. You become hazardous to yourself. If you're going through something, uh, uh, those men who go to I can go and talk about how they feel. The average in America alone.
you're talking about good stuff, Devon. And I want you to know that you are getting a little distorted in our live, but it's technology, right?
Yeah,
So it is what it is. But let's talk
yeah,
about fatherhood, being that you're speaking on that. How did
yeah.
becoming a father shift how you view protection and trust? Like, what do you do, and what would you tell your the dads? Like, yo, l- let your kids know. And how did that change you as a dad? Not change you, but mold you into what do you do?
Get involved with kids. If you're at, if you're present, then the enemy really can't, enter in. It's just something about a male being physically present, physically being there. Um, you can watch awareness programs, prevention programs. You
Has you're breaking up, King. Is there a way you can move maybe in another place? Or I don't know if you can, but you're breaking up a lot, just a bit, and you're letting us real good information that I want the kings to know, and the moms to be aware of.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on. Let me see. Is this better?
A little bit. We can hear you a little bit better.
Okay. So I was saying that if you're a dad, tell the child, hey, not ask the child, tell the child, hey, I need your phone. Not because I don't trust you, but because of security reasons. That way, that wall that they have is no longer built up, and you're talking with your child, not to your child. So when that child gives you their phone, that child knows, oh, my dad trusts me. He just wants protection. And you know what? He been here longer than me. I understand. Here you go. Now you can go through your phone, through your child's phone, and you can look up the real deal. Who is this person that keeps following my child? They may say that they're 12 years old like my child, but they don't comment, they don't like, and they don't share. All they do is watch, 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 and watch.
Mm,
Let me investigate that
telling you that.
because that may be somebody watching my child, and while my child is doing TikToks and going live and dancing, they watching my child's room. When my child go to school and go live, they watching where my child go to school at. They watching where my child is
Yes.
eating popcorn at the movie theater. Now they have an actual location, a little GPS area of where my child is at, including my own home. So paying attention, I call them non-responders, paying attention to people who interact with your child, then paying attention to people who don't interact with your child, but they're always watching and they like to act like they're the same age and they go to the same school. Or ask your son or ask your daughter, hey, who's this person that you are talking to, but you never FaceTime them?
Mm-hmm.
They always, and where'd you get this money from all of a sudden?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
remember, these people who are watching your children on social media, they're watching when they cry, they're watching when they're happy, they're watching when they're going to sleep, when they up and at them and
And
all of that. So
they
they
watch
know what you're,
parents too. They watching us.
yeah, yeah. So they know when that child, they know pretty much everything about that child just as much as you do because we live in a digital world where that's how people express themselves. That's how they connect with other people. And so, in doing so, you got predators who are literally studying your child. So, whatever you lack at home, that predator is going to provide. If you lack love, that person all of a sudden that you may think is 12 years old watching your child starts to talk to your child and say, "Hey, how you doing? Oh man, that's crazy that you're going through that. I'm going through that too.
Right.
I got a little money. You hungry? Okay, cool. You ain't got food in the house? I'll give you some food. Hey, where
Exactly
you get
like
that
that.
$1 million money from?
Mhm. And it
So
can go
these are
both
what
ways.
predators
It can
do.
go both ways.
And yeah, yeah, definitely. And so this is a form of not just recruiting, but this is the actual form of grooming a child or a person
So when you
because
say
they're
crown
paying
control,
attention.
that your words? You said crown control.
Crown control, yep, entertainment.
Hmm. Is that what is that? Talk about that a bit. Is that
So Crown Control Entertainment is an entertainment company that I started, but it's about taking back your crown, which is your mind, right?
uh,
Your crown is your mind. Never take off your crown. Always have control over your mental. When I got out of human trafficking, I had no control over my mind. I was suicidal. I was a cutter. I wrestled with my identity, and it wasn't until I got my mind right is when I really found freedom and had control. And so that's where crown control came into place. So just take back your crown. It's all about taking back your crown, leaving that crown in your head, be that queen, be that king, and represent and know who you are in your identity.
absolutely? I can definitely identify with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely had to put that crown back on my head. And people think that you're walking with your head up high and you're on a high horse, but they just don't know what it took for you to adjust. and get that crown right. So let me ask you something. What helped you get your mind right? Like, was you speak a lot about spiritual and God. You speak a lot about how you surrendered to Him in prayer and different things like that. Is that exactly? That's pretty much what helps
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I didn't want to be a nobody.
Hmm.
I spent my whole life living for other people because I was trained to. Coming up with my parents not being around as much, living in abandoned buildings and coming up, uh, out of human trafficking, I lived my life for other people and their opinions, and it wasn't until I realized I had to live for me. I could no longer set myself on fire to keep somebody else warm. I just wouldn't do it.
Exactly. You had to rise, kind of like the phoenix. Yep, you had to
Yeah.
rise. Absolutely. So, what do you say to people who think men can't be victims? You know what I mean? They just, like you said, they're strong, and even now, okay, you know,
If you so my answer to that, if they think that men can't think they can't be victims, and if women think that men can't be victims, they are already victims for judging a book by its cover.
right, and that's what I always say that. People always judge a book by its cover, and
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. You think you can't be a victim, or you think your man or your husband can't be a victim, or your child because they're a guy. Uh, you have already underestimated your enemy, someone who is constantly studying or watching you more than you watch yourself.
So let me ask you something while you say that. Right here, right now, how would you say it feels to be free?
Oh man, hey, listen. I listen. You see this smile? I love every moment of it. I love the good, the bad, the ugly. I love when I'm angry. I love when I hate. I love when I have joy. I love when I'm just full of ambition and driven because when I was being trafficked, I couldn't express myself. I couldn't express anger. I couldn't express hate. I couldn't express joy. I couldn't express my happiness. I couldn't express my peace. So now I understand the responsibility of freedom, and I am in love with everything that I'm about, man. And I enjoy it. If I'm depressed, I'm loving it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going through my process. Like people don't understand what it's like to have freedom to even be depressed. You know what it's like to be depressed and not be able to control or express yourself.
Why?
You're already up out of there. Like
And that's why I'm in the mental health now. You know what I mean? And my future is to help individuals that suffer from all of it, you know, and have
yeah,
them safe place. King, I'm telling you today, I'm letting you know you are a voice for everyone. The voiceless, the people that are overlooked, because we don't look at the men. We really don't. Women really, we really get a lot of the attention for real. So I'm here to let you know today we hear you. You know what I'm saying? I hear you. And like you said, you see right through me. You're a realist. You know what time it is.
yeah,
And I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? And also from Detroit to Queens, you know what I'm saying? The conversation is much bigger than us, and
yeah,
that this video brings the awareness and let people know, hey, look, watch your son, okay? Because it don't matter if you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And even you think, oh, okay, then he get 24, 25, he should be good. How long do you
uh,
think they keep these men?
as long as they can use you, listen, the dollar does not discriminate.
And you said you went to 31 states.
31 states.
Wow. Well, we stand with you, King. I'm telling you, or whatever. And I'm gonna let you know there was something that you said. You said, and it really, 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 really stuck with me. And I had to let you know about that when you said, "For God so loved Devon," right? Is that what you
Hmm.
said? And that
Yeah,
is it. I want all the kings to know. So, for God so loved everyone, everyone that may think no one's there, no one's listening. Devon, the king said he prayed for 3 days, and look, he's here right now, talking
yeah,
strong on TV, So I ain't gonna put your business out there, but they know what you doing,
Yeah, yeah,
talent, all that. You know what I'm saying? You know how we met. You know, producer, all that. You're doing real big things, King. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you
yeah,
that I felt when I first met you, when I heard that you or you know that you were a victim, I wouldn't have been a survivor. Let's say that I wouldn't
yeah,
have been able to tell that by how you carry yourself or how you move gracefully like a king. You know what I'm saying, through the house, like you bossed up. I would have never knew what the past was for you. So I thank you
yeah,
for sharing your story. You know what I'm saying, bringing awareness for other young men and letting them know, like, yo, fix your crown. You know what I mean? Hold your family down.
yeah.
So thank you so much. And what we would say, yes, Lord, right?
Yes, Lord.
Yes, Lord. All right. Well, I'm from New York, Chosen Culture New York with Devon from Detroit. Thank you, Devon. I appreciate you. Until next time, y'all.
Yeah.
With a real one.
All right.
All right. Now I gotta see how to close this thing down. All right. So you can log out. I'm gonna try to make sure I close it down. Hold on. Y'all bear with me. I'm not trying to lose this great interview with the king. So I have to figure out how to close it out. Is there a way? Let me see. That was a great interview. Thank you, King. I know I learned a lot. I really did love a lot. I learned a lot, and I love the interview because it just I am trying to thank you. I am trying to shut this thing down. Let me see if I click here. Bear with me. I am not going to shut it down until I know how to shut it down. And sometimes it takes that. It takes just a little patience. And sometimes it takes that. It takes just a little patience. And sometimes it takes that. It takes just a little patience. And sometimes it takes that. It takes just a little patience. And sometimes it takes that. It takes just a little patience. I do not know. Y'all forgive me. I do not know how to shut this thing down. Maybe if I just shut it down here. End the live. There we go. Okay, bye. I think this is going to be wrapping it up.